It's true. It's real. We're back. 2 nights on the bounce. This is it now. We are here. We are ready to roll. It is another episode following on from yesterday's part 1 of the night 1 of WrestleMania for the weekend. We are now doing night 2 of our predictions for WrestleMania. And as for all of my shows, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Blacksalt. Pete, how are you doing on this fine day?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
I genuinely thought that was going to be it.
No, I've been swimming. I've had a day off. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, you're like a professional swimmer now, aren't you?
I'm pretty much in and out of the water, Mr. Merman, Blacksall Pete. That's what they call me. It's what I'm known around the swimming pool and East Manchester area.
In the deep end, that's what they like to call me. You know what I mean?
2 meters. I'm there. I'm fine for about 30 seconds. I'm good.
Have you got your Kellogg's badges and that?
Oh, I got them years ago, mate. Like in 2016.
All right, sweet. Still sewn onto your swimming shorts, yeah.
On my speedos, yeah.
Yeah. See, so that's how you do swimming, right? Right. Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. It's been really fun for doing this podcast.
That's it. That's all we've got.
But yeah, following on. Obviously, we did night 1 yesterday. We're gonna go through night 2, go through our predictions, go through what we think the outcome of the match is going to be, potential feuds in the future, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to part 2. Obviously, I think I'm going to keep calling it part 2 when I actually mean night 2. But very much looking forward to it.
Sorry about that. Once we get this out of the way, we can finish the fucking story. So I mean, it's just all wrapped up nice and night, then, isn't it? So nice and nice and night.
Nice and night. Very nice.
Nice and night.
This is nice. But yeah, we've got 1 match less on the second card. Genuinely, we bantered about it yesterday, but I think that main reason is because Rock and Roman's entrance will take up the length of somebody's match. So somebody has fallen short of the card to make way for their entrance, which I think is completely outrageous, but as long as it's good, I'm all right with it. I think was it Roman's entrance last year when he had like the symphony band doing his
the orchestra. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that was incredible. To be fair, I was a big fan, and obviously WrestleMania, they always have those sort of spots, don't they? Of literally just a big entrance, which like Cody's is going to be absolutely off the fucking chart.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to take you all the way in the Wayback Machine to WrestleMania 17. Fine. The best WrestleMania it's always been, you know it.
Yeah.
And the game versus The Undertaker, walking down, and The Undertaker came down with Fred Durst live in living colour doing Limp Bizkit's My Way, rolling. Just keep rolling. Oh my God.
That
WrestleMania had everything. Absolutely everything.
For our age, like that is like the ultimate nostalgia in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think anybody can.
Oh yeah.
You know, everyone's got their own bit, haven't they? But I think for us, that is like you can sit there and go, God, do you remember like Limp Bizkit when like he was actually incredible? And like the fact like everyone nowadays, like Undertaker, you've just got like obviously I don't know what it's called, but that entrance that he has, you almost find it hard to believe that Undertaker has ever had a different entrance music. And then it's like, oh yeah, it was Limp Bizkit rolling. Sorry, what?
The American Badass.
I'm sorry, he wasn't this character the entire time. Oh no, kids.
No.
No idea just what went on for a good 2 or 3 years.
Do you know what? I think it was longer. Because they still called him Deadman and everything. He still did all his normal monikers and that, but he was just the American Badass, and he just wore an American bandana. And
lost the long hair. Long hair was non-existent.
Short ginger hair. That's when you found out that Mark Calloway was actually ginger.
Wild.
Crazy stuff. No wonder he wanted to be a dead man.
Yeah, you literally just took that one right out. I was absolutely following on with some sort of joke related to that. So fair play to you. There's a short. Get that time down, 7:50.
I do everything you can.
But yeah, I think it's only right. Yesterday we said there's only one real match that I know neither of us have any particular interest in. So I feel it's in good interest to get that one out of the way now, nice and early doors.
What match would that be, Kieran?
The World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
I don't think it's that one.
No, neither do I. Well, it's Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against the Final Testament, which consists of Karrion Kross and AOP, which is Akam and Razor. I mean, we'll keep it short and sweet. The love that they've tried to make this interesting by having it as a Philly street fight. And it's like, that stip, you know, you've got all your fucking weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, that should make it more interesting. No, I don't care. It could be, God, it could be anything. And I just would not have it in me to give the slightest of shits of this match. I mean, have you got anything to follow on from that, really?
I'm wondering, the only thing I am hoping for the match, I mean, we'll obviously do our predictions very fairly shortly because, I mean, other than Montez Ford, I like the love that I used to have for Bobby Lashley. I mean, like, that's kind of died a bit of a death now because he's just there week in, week out. And I liked it when he was in the more managerial role, but now he's just like concrete face of the stable, whatever. But Granddaddy Nazi, I'm wondering what he's going to play a part in this.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to stand there like doing his little pose. What would Adolf do?
I never actually said he was German. I never said he was German. He just he dresses like a neo-Nazi.
Yeah,
but yes.
No, I mean, yeah, following on what you said about Bobby, like, I think it's a shame. I think he had a good run when he first had that, the Almighty gimmick coming through, and he was champion and stuff like that. He did really well. He had a MVP, Hurt Business, all that sort of stuff. I thought that was superb. I still always remember Bobby Lashley re-debuting when Elias was doing his concert, and you heard the music hit, but it didn't go to the Titantron. It literally just panned to the crowd, and all you could hear was like grown men going, "Oh!" because no kid had any idea who this guy was, but all the old people were like, "Oh, this is a big deal." So like that reaction, it's not like a pop like when a Cena appears and everyone's like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? Like this was like just all the like men who were just like, like, "Oh no, this is gonna be like, this is good." Like it's one of those returns that I will rewatch from time to time just to listen to that pop, and it's a shame, really.
Go on, quick tangent, really quick one. Is I was watching like a load of returns, WWE returns anyway, in ring, recently, and my favourite one by far was Jake the Snake Roberts, and I think it was like 2014-15, and he looked like he'd just come out of he looked like he was on methadone recovering addict, and he came down to the ring, and it was barely a noise, and you just heard like a few people go, "Oh,
yeah.
He should not be remembered like this." And he came out with the bag, and you think, "Oh, you can't use a snake nowadays. Peter are going to get involved. Like, you can't do it."
Yeah, no. I remember that because it was like there was just no pop, and you just felt
like,
sorry
who the hell
for
is he?
him. Yeah, this is what I mean. And you're like, that's when you know that your time is up. If you're literally coming out and everyone's like, who's this guy? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that. And again, it's a great shame with how iconic he was and how like successful he was. To be fair, do you know what I mean? Like,
not going to say that anyone made Stone Cold because Stone Cold made himself. Write that down. But he was his opponent in the final of the King of the Ring 1999, and he was the one where he came out with the 96. Sorry, not 99. Excuse me. Oh no, wait. 96.
Yeah, it was 96.
He's the one who came out and said after the match, obviously, the fame. There's so many times I can do this quote on the show, but obviously you talk about your Bible, you thump your Bible, your John 3:16. Well, how about Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Mm-hmm. And this is it. And that was, I think that King of the Ring was really when Stone Cold really started to come alive, wasn't it? That was the turning point.
Yeah. So before that, he was the ringmaster.
Yeah, literally. Like it's wild. But I mean, I'll be honest. We've done well here because I reckon we've done an extra 3 minutes on this match longer than I thought we would. So I'm actually impressed for the pair of us. Bear in mind, we just tangented to Stone Cold, but we'll go full circle.
When in doubt, mate, Stone Cold it.
When in doubt, smash the glass.
Don't trust anyone.
Who are you going for on this one, bud?
Do you know what? I'm going to give you this time. I'm going to give you the actual opportunity. To get, because if we're doing this as a game and we're going to see who's going to come up when we do the review, who's come up with more points, I'm going to give you a handicap here. And on my notes, I'm going to write a big fat X because I refuse to join it. I just refuse to.
I care that little about it. I'm not even going to
Really?
predict it.
No.
Like, do you know what? I respect.
You have it, Joe.
I've disintegrated a little bit. Well, do you know, for the sake of the video, so this isn't a complete waste of time, I'm going to go for the final testament. I think that even though Karrion Kross is the most boring person in the existence of the planet, I think they're going to give him a win, just to give him a win. Like I've got nothing. I do not care an ounce about this feud to think of anything apart from like what goes on afterwards. I just hope it stops and Karrion goes back to like TNA and just can chill there for a bit. I have no interest whatsoever in what's going on with that man. But yeah, that's what I'd go for final testament. But anyway, let's move on to our next one. With everybody saying,
LA Knight, yeah!
It is LA Knight against AJ Styles. How are you feeling about this match? Because I know you've got a lot of time for LA.
I have Big Sean. Big Sean in the building. I've got a lot of time for him, but this match is I was looking through the two nights, and this match is boring. It is not much apart from LA Knight and the crowd being so over with the crowd. If it weren't for that, they wouldn't be having a match. If it weren't for LA Knight's heat in the last year, he wouldn't be at WrestleMania, and AJ Styles wouldn't be at WrestleMania either. But I'm gonna predict it straight away. But I'm looking forward to it. It'd be fun if they added a stipulation. I don't know if they can this early, well, this so soon before. But it'd be fun like if it was a no DQ or like a something like that. But it's just a standard match.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
Well, I don't know.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say. Look at us. Hey,
on, you go.
Look at us. Who'd have thought? Not me.
Not me.
Yeah.
So I just
I don't know. I'm gonna go LA now. Obviously, I've got to go LA. But I think they're going to do all the classics. I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, you can't say that neither of them aren't consummate professionals. I mean, even though he's got that stupid fucking southern voice, prick bellend. I don't like AJ Styles, by the way. I'm not a big fan of him. But I think they'll pull out all the stops, and he's a great wrestler, and LA Knight's a fantastic wrestler. So I think, like the Jay and Jimmy, I think it will be a really, really, really fluid match. But there's nothing at risk. There's no reason why, other than watching LA Knight wrestle, there's no reason why I'd want to watch it. Like why it's there at WrestleMania. But I mean, it'll be a good match, hopefully. Yeah.
So no, that's it. Like following on from what you're saying there, totally agree. If they had some sort of stipulation, I think obviously did that segment where AJ was being interviewed at his house and LA Knight turns up there and you have a bit of a scrap, the police come in, stuff like that. Like it's like a street fight sort of vibes. Like that Philly street fight, I think would work much better for this match, just to let them beat the shit out of each other with everything possible. I think that would be so much more effective than putting that on a match that no one cares about.
But if the first match wasn't a Philly street fight, then they wouldn't be legally allowed to use the built swastikas that they've got to hit them with.
I mean, that's also true. I mean, if that actually
think about this, Kieran. It's production. You've got to think about the production value. There's money going into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of money going out as well if we pull that off, I think. Just ask Vinnie Mac. But yeah, I think if you followed on from that, they had a stip, I think 1,000,000% that would make it a bit more interesting. I do quite like the fact that there's no belt involved. This is just a case of you screwed me over, you're pissing me off, so I'm going to beat you. I'm going to kick your ass.
So do you think, because if it's LA Knight, this will end the feud? I hope. I
think so. I think LA Knight's going to win, and that'll be the end of that. Because I think there's going to be a draft coming up. Because I think with a few of the titles and stuff like that, like without spoiling what we think is going to happen later on in the night, I think certain individuals are going to win certain titles on different brands. So because of that, I think they're going to have to start swapping up the roster. Like I said, like for my prediction yesterday, to compare it with the tag belts that I think DIY are going to win the SmackDown ones. Therefore, they're going to have to go to SmackDown. You're then going to have to trade, so on and so forth. So I think there will be some sort of draft involved in that. I think LA Knight is destined to go to Raw. So I think this feud will kind of cap that. He'll then move to Raw and he'll go into that World Heavyweight Championship picture. And I think that's where he slots in perfectly. And he'll get a bit more time to shine. Because like during his peak of doing so well, you then had Punk return. You then had Orton return. And it was like he was up here and then all of a sudden it went blue. And then you threw Rock in there as well.
Yeah.
It crushed him. So I just think banging him onto Raw will give him that lease of life again, if you know what I mean.
As long as they understand that he carried that brand, that one side of the brand for a good 5 months, 6 months, easy. I'm just intrigued to see where AJ Styles will go after this because I hope it's home.
Yeah. Now, see, I don't hate AJ as much as you. Like, I feel I'm slightly, maybe not such biased, but I will forever hold on to when he first came back and he ran SmackDown. SmackDown was a house that AJ Styles built, and like that was his whole gimmick when he was champ. And he was so good during that run. So I know that was like some 8 years ago, 9 years ago, or whatever, a long time. But you hold on to these things, you know what I mean? You remember them. And I think I don't think I could hate him as much as you. But I think another concept in this match is I'm sure they've got history in like your TNA roots and stuff like that. I think they've feuded previously. So they're familiar with each other, which is always going to be a bonus for a good quality match if they already know how each other operate and stuff like that. So I completely agree with you. I think it will be a good quality fight, and I do also agree with you in the sense of I think LA Knight's going to win it.
Boom.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if AJ gets the win here.
Yeah.
Just to let LA, because I mean, Knight wasn't even at WrestleMania last year, which is wild to think of. So
and it's LA Knight's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And after literally, like we said, after carrying the company, after carrying the brand and doing so well for his like just going from nothing to there to being the number one. I think he's still up there. I mean, obviously with The Rock going back, I'm not too sure, and with Cody being how hot he is, but good, it's hot. And he's still up there with sales and everything like that. So they've got to give LA Knight the win. I mean, it'd be rude not to. It'd be unfair in a way.
I completely agree with you on there. I think that's absolutely right. Next match we have got is the US Championship. So this is a triple threat between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and KO. Again, I don't know about yourself. I feel like this is going to be... I think it's a bit trickier than it should to call this one. I think it's going to be a really good match. That I think a lot of work is going to be between Logan and KO. I think it's they're still being relatively protective of Orton. I think that's the only reason KO's got entered into that match, personally. They didn't have anything for KO to do apart from this. B, Orton one-on-one, they're clearly not confident enough for that to happen. So they'll implement an extra body in there so Orton can have a lot of breaks, a lot of rest, you know, recovery time, this, that, and the other, not have to take as many bumps and spots. But the perk of that is Logan Paul is full of fantastic spots, but I know we spoke in length about Logan Paul previously about how good he is, and annoyingly good, may I add.
Shouldn't be that good.
Yeah, and you throw KO in there. KO is just incredible. Like I said, he's one of my top 3 faves.
What on this podcast? What have we called KO before? He's the wrestler that you create on any wrestling game. With that, is that moveset. It's just like sometimes you just make. I'm gonna make like a short, stubby guy with a big beard and spiky hair. And what's his second move gonna be? The stunner.
Yeah, you know.
Just cause. What does he do from the top ropes? A swanton bomb. That's just what he does.
You know how it is. Like, it's just a game, isn't it? What's that? HBK's finisher. That's just like
time, mate.
It's a punch to KO that. But yeah, again, like I said, I think it'd be a really good match. The winner, however, I think for me personally, I don't think KO's got a chance. I don't think it makes any sort of sense to put it on KO. It's like my gut's telling me Logan's going to retain, but that little part of me thinks they might switch it to Orton. Let Orton have that belt for a bit, add a bit of prestige to it with obviously the resume of Orton. My only counter to that would be obviously that Orton, does that mean he's able to wrestle full time? Is he going to be there every week? Is he going to be able to do quality matches one-on-one? I'm not sure. So I'm kind of on the fence, but I feel like I need to put a name out there.
Well, there's the other thing. The other side of that is Logan Paul's fully not in week out yet. Does that mean and if he does retain, like how often is he gonna? Because he's been on SmackDown quite a lot recently. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to give it KO. And with Randy being Randy as he is now, I like that. I didn't even think about adding the prestige to that. That's a good shout. I didn't even think of that first. But I assumed, even with what's going on, Logan Paul would retain and maybe do one SmackDown before the next pay-per-view, and that's about it.
Because I think what's the next one? It's like a backlash, because they'll have like maybe a WrestleMania backlash, something like that. Which is, will he drop it there? Like that's another thing. I don't know where the direction's going to go from it, because I still don't think Logan's going to be there week in, week out. I think his contract, he has other things that he does, which is fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my neck on the line. I'm going to say Orton wins.
I'm going to say Logan. I'm going to go Logan Paul.
Yeah, let's make it interesting. So you go Logan, and I'll go. I mean, I really love the fact that I've just been jotting down my notes. So I've just been putting a name and then the letter next to it. So mine actually says Logan P. And he is actually Logan P. How about that, eh? Logan P.
Logan P. Logan P. That's me.
I just think Logan's. I think he's had his run. He's had his time. He's been really good. Like, I don't think he needs to take the belt taken off him. Just think, I don't know. For me personally, I just think bang it on Orton, big time player. Let him have a bit of a run with it. Maybe not such a what is it called, the open challenge that like Cena used to do. I don't expect that, but I expect that to add a bit of something to it, and maybe some mid card heels knocking around SmackDown. I'm trying to fucking wrap my brains now to think of some, to kind of start feuding with him. But I think again, Top Dollar's not even in the company anymore.
Top Dollar.
But yeah, like sort of like just I think that sort of thing. I think that you could put it on Orton to elevate your mid card people. Like I tell you, like who? I always get his name muddled up. Santos Escobar.
Oh
him kind of having a little feud for it with that. You could throw in a Waller or a Theory if they don't win the belts. Either one of them could have a couple of matches and that sort of thing, just to elevate people who are lower to mid and just make them a bit more established. So yeah, next on the line, I'm going Orton. Go on.
Really quickly to end that,
no, you're all right. You go.
Do you not think that Logan Paul will want a WrestleMania moment?
Oh yeah.
Like he's had WrestleMania moments. Don't get me wrong, but I mean a winning WrestleMania moment, which he's not had.
Yeah, but then I also don't think this is going to be his last WrestleMania. I think he's going to have a moment. Like, I don't know what that moment's going to be. Whether he's going to be the recipient of a ridiculous RKO, whether him and KO are going to have some mental spot, because that KO is like a modern day Mankind. Like, he will just take those wild bumps and he's all right with it. Like, I'm really excited for this match. Like, I've got real high hopes for it. I think it's going to be a really, really good quality. Like, again, I think we said the night before, the 6-man ladder being like the show stealer, like a bit under the radar kind of one. I think this is going to be that for tonight.
I definitely think so.
Night, I think people aren't expecting it to absolutely bang, and I think it's going to bang. I think it's going to be 10 out of 10. Superb match.
Yeah.
You got anything else on that, bud?
No. I'm happy with that.
Happy with that. Happy days. Right. So we're now on to the Women's Championship with Io Sky and Bayley. How are you feeling about this one, son?
It's back to hugging Bayley. I want Bayley all the way. I'm not even going to have a conversation of. I'll let you have your say, but I just can't see after. He played it a bit wrong, because obviously it's been a month and barely any interactions between any of them. Like, they should have cut them up a bit closer to WrestleMania, maybe a few weeks later than they actually did. But like the whole when she gave away that she could understand, like she understood Japanese, and she understood that, then that kind of drifted away and you forgot about it. But that would have been so good close to WrestleMania. But I think I'm going to write down right now. We can have a conversation. Don't worry. But I'm going to write down Bayley, because it's done. It's locked in. It's done. It's away. But she might not win.
Yeah. I mean, here's your spoiler. I've been in work all day today, and I've been thinking. Of course, I knew we were doing this tonight, so I've been kind of thinking through who do I think, all that sort of stuff. This one, out of all of them, is the one I've been battling back and forth with the most, because if we did last night,
Is it-
I'd have gone,
is
Taylor.
Is it because it's a woman's match?
No, it's not because it's a woman's match. Well,
Sorry,
actually, do you know what? That'll counter your point because it means I've given it a lot of thought and a lot of interest. And despite your allegations that are not true,
Allegations.
I couldn't think of the word. That might not be the right word, but
Yeah, it's the right word. It's the right word. It's just not been. Go on.
It's
So
a big
go
one
on.
for you.
What have you been going back? What have you been going back and forth on?
I've just who's going to win this? Like I was dead set. I was like, this is going to be Bayley. Hands down, it's going to be Bayley. And one of my many thoughts from yesterday was when I said to you, Triple H likes to throw a spanner in the works and do something that you're not expected to happen. And I was like, do you know what? It all makes sense and it's all logical for Bayley to win. And I was like, well, actually, does she need to win this? Does she have to win that? I was like, she doesn't have to win it at all. I was just thinking to myself that Bayley could lose this and still almost even to back it up with the gun for Sami Zayn stuff. When we were talking about it and you was like, if Sami Zayn loses, like, where'd he go from there? Whereas I think if Bayley loses, that just adds fuel to the fire of everyone getting behind her and eventually coming out on top with it all. I also felt where it was like, because Damage Control, we think, and I think everyone thinks, is inevitably going to lose tomorrow, the night before. I think they're going to then come out to help Io Sky win so that the whole of Damage Control aren't losing. They've still got their champion. So even though 3 of them have lost in that match, Io still comes out on top. So I've actually convinced myself that Io Sky is going to retain this. So my money is on Io. I think Io is going to retain.
No, I think I'm wrong, but it's locked in. I've already said it's locked in. This is bullshit.
And to quote you, I'm not having a conversation about it.
Yeah, fair enough then.
So this was it. I heard you saying that, and I was like, do you know what? He's going to get annoyed here because I'm going to go the complete opposite of what he's thinking. He's like, actually, I don't know.
I saw it as I was ranting. I saw your face and I thought, oh, here we fucking go. Here we go. What have I said now?
There's always one. Why can't I just agree with me and we'd be happy and get along? But yeah, I mean, do you want to have an input? Do you want to throw anything in there about it? I know you said you didn't, but I don't think you expected my response.
I feel stupid now because I've listened to your response and I think, yeah, that's kind of accurate. Yeah. So
don't mean
talk about. I don't want to talk about me being wrong.
So no, let's move on. But yeah, it takes us to 2 more matches, which obviously these 2 are going to be massive. So we're going to go to the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre. And we're listening to a podcast today, which is quite funny. I completely forgot that CM Punk is going to be the guest commentator on this because I heard them say that and I went, oh God, I completely forgot about that. So I was like, that adds dimensions to how this match could possibly go because I had completely eliminated that. And and it got the cogs going. And I thought, I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about this because I'd rather back and forth this with yourself. But yeah, I suppose the question to you is, who do you think is going to win, and how do you think Punk's going to affect that match?
If Punk's going to want to affect anyone, it's going to be Drew. But I stand by I still think somehow. Because I think it goes one either way. So obviously on the first night we both said the Rock and Roman win. I can't see it happen any other way.
Yeah.
And on this night, I feel like Seth and Cody can win. Not both of them. It's going to be one or the other. And it sure as shit shouldn't be Cody losing. So I think, and like you said, Seth's nearly had it for a year now. Or has it been over a year?
When did he win it now? I'd say he's had it for... Did he have it at last WrestleMania? Was it even a title at last WrestleMania?
No, I don't think it was.
God, no, because they had a tournament for it. But I don't think it's been a year. I think it's just short of a year. But I can't for the life of you tell you when that was.
I tell you what, that's why we have Google.
Because I know that it was against AJ in the match to win it when they introduced it. Because they did a Raw ladder and a SmackDown ladder. And AJ won the SmackDown one and Rollins won the Raw one. But...
some reason, I cannot. This sucks. 312 days.
So yeah, literally a couple of months out. So it's a couple of months. So so it couldn't have been SummerSlam. No, because SummerSlam was fucking. That's when Finn Balor should have took it off him.
312 days today. Sorry, yeah. SummerSlam was Finn Balor, yeah. But like you said, anyway, we've talked about it, and we both said that maybe not, because this was before the whole Rock and Roman thing came about. But we were like, obviously, Seth needs to change a character because it's boring. It's just boring. But now it's had a bit of more life breathed into it because of the Rock and Roman thing. I'm not too sure, but I still think somehow, by the grace of God, or by CM Punk's fucking hand, or his great skill on the fucking mic on the commentary table, so Rollins will drop it, and that could take us back to the feud that was originally supposed to happen just without the title of Rollins and CM Punk, and then Drew McIntyre can have someone like LA Knight, which would be brilliant to watch them two work. I mean, even though LA Knight's quite small compared to everyone else in the company, and Drew McIntyre's a fucking monster, but imagine him on the mic against Drew. I think that'd be fantastic.
Especially with how hot Drew has been as well on the mic.
Yeah,
like he
as a heel as well.
Raised his game. Like the past few months as heel.
You've got mega heel and you've got mega face, and that'd be brilliant.
You want to see it though, don't you? That is the feud where you hear that and you're like, yes, like sign me up. I want that. 100%.
But I think without a doubt, Rollins will drop it. I don't know what kind of interference may happen, but I think Rollins will drop it and Drew will become title. I don't think Damian Priest is coming in.
No.
But yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm just going to write Drew McIntyre, Scottish Drew, all right. Scottish. I wrote Drew Scottish instead.
That's all right.
Let's confuse my hands sometimes.
I've Drew Scottish. But yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I think this is Drew's moment. I think this is his time. I think he absolutely deserves it. Like I think he was shit hot against when it was leading up to Reigns for that match at Clash of the Castle, where everyone was like, "No, this is when you should be winning it." You know, I think that was superb. I think this is miles better than that. I think this is leaps above it in terms of how good of the quality that he's actually bringing to the product. Like, it's every promo, everything he's doing, he's just knocking out the park. And it's this character where it's like, he's not pandering to the fans. He's not being like the chicken shit heel. He's being the bad guy, but what he's saying isn't wrong. Like, obviously not wrong. There are a few things that are slightly hypocritical, but that is a heel. That's what you want him to do. But a lot of times when he's saying stuff, like the main part of this feud is him turning around to Seth and going, "You're not paying attention to me because you're too busy sticking your nose in other business. Like, it should be me you're asked about and all this." And then it's like, well, yeah, like he's absolutely right. That's what he's completely valid in why he's coming out with these statements. And then for them to do that little twist in that superb segment between the three of them, where he was yapping away at Punk and then Rollins gets him, and it's like, you've been done by exactly what you've been saying all these weeks, and you're just like, well played to you guys.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Like,
No, you're right. You go ahead. I was thinking about that segment again, and I was just going,
yeah, literally,
having a little dream.
I think it would be almost impossible for Punk to not have any sort of input in this match. I think Punk he has to have some sort of 100%. Involvement. So I think what he's going to do, I'm going to put my neck on the line, and I think that because
you like that saying today, don't you?
Well, you know, it's the phrase of the day. But
gosh,
I think with how Drew's character has been developing, where he doesn't show remorse, or if someone's like hurt, he's not holding back. He's being more clinical, more like brutal, whatever. I don't know what the word is. So he's taking advantage of opportunities. Yeah. So I think that what's going to happen is that Drew is going to be, they're going to have been brawling outside the ring. They're going to be in front of the commentary table. I think he's going to put Rollins down, and then he's going to start yapping away at CM Punk, and CM Punk's going to get up. They're going to square up. Punk's going to go to punch him with his big cast thing on, at which point Drew ducks, moves out the way, something like that. He whacks it into Rollins. He then puts Rollins into the ring, hits him with a Claymore, and he gets the win. So I think Punk is inadvertently going to help Drew win and cost Rollins. I think Rollins is going to take a bit of time off after this. I think he needs a bit of a rest, and because we've had so much Seth Rollins, I think it would be good
just
to have
take it back
less of
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. Like, again,
Completely agree with that.
podcast I listen to is one of those where it's like when you don't see someone every week, you miss them more, and it makes you want them more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, absence makes the heart grow
Well,
fonder.
Exactly. Well, imagine the pop when he has about 2 months off, a month off, 2 months off, and that song hits.
Yeah.
In the middle of a segment between like LA Knight and Drew, or something like that. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. He does need to just step away for a bit, and it'd make a lot of sense going back into family life if Rhea retains. Rhea retains. Becky loses. They both have a bit of time off together.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely valid. I think it then goes looking further on. I think obviously Drew can win. Drew can have his time. He can have his moment, which I think he fully deserves. Like, I really do think it's his time. It's time to change the title. It's time to let him be that top dog in front of a crowd and let him cook. Because at the minute, everything he's doing is wild. I then just think now that Seth goes, has a bit of time off, like Drew gives him a beatdown or something, or he gets an injury out of it. I don't know. But they make some sort of reason to write him off TV for a bit. Because for one of two reasons. I think, A, like I said, to give Seth a bit of time off, to make us miss him more, all that sort of stuff. I then think it gives time for Punk to recover, come back from injury. I think then you've got a potential SummerSlam match there. I think Rollins will, like, Punk will be there, and he'll be like, hey, guys, like, I'm fit, I'm ready, I'm good to go for SummerSlam. If anyone wants me, like, come at me. And then literally, Rollins music hits, boom, there's your match. And it's a big match at that. So I think that's where they're going to go. Because, again, you've got all the stuff with Drew and Punk, but do not forget how much that Punk and Seth Rollins cannot stand each other. Like, that also does not need to be forgotten. You can then go to Drew and Punk further on down the line. I think this is I think that's the first match to let Drew have longer on the title, gives Punk something to do in the process, working with obviously top talent. Like, I think that's, for me, that's how I would book it.
You've got the poetic irony as well of obviously the next match we're going to talk about, face taking it, and then a heel, and then you've got a face and a heel on opposite corners, which is what they always used to do. Like back when I know it's been gone. How many years has the World Heavyweight been gone now? Because it was it left after I started watching it. But
I would say the World Heavyweight went around 2013, 2014. It's when Cena and Orton unified it, and Orton won it, and that was part of the authority angle. And if I had to give a number, I'd say 2014. That's what I'd go for when they unified. But I could be wrong.
Yes, because in the summer of Punk, it was Christian and Orton who were fighting for the World Heavyweight.
And that was your spinny belt.
Yeah. Boo. But yeah, I think face on Universal, heel on the heavyweight, and just let them breathe, do their own little things. Because right now they're so closely entwined because Seth Rollins is in this match with them on the first night of WrestleMania. Yeah, I think it's a definite. I think it's a given, to be honest. I just think it's going to be really entertaining. I think most people know how it's all going to end, but that's not the point of this year's WrestleMania, because you could throw it, like you said, all the other twists and turns before these two matches, and all these two matches is just like a massive, amazing fucking firework at the end of a great 2 nights. And everyone leaves happy. No one will care if Seth loses it. No one will, because Seth's just entertaining to watch, whether he's got a belt or not.
Yeah.
Cody, it's gonna get really sad if he doesn't win. Like, it's gonna get really upsetting. I know I keep saying it. I know it keeps upsetting you.
Yeah, like I said, we'll sign off on this match, and then we'll just obviously dive straight into all the Cody stuff, because I think that's a 20-minute conversation itself. I want to just kind of put out there, following on, I don't think this is going to happen. But remember, last night we was talking about the potential cash-in and all that kind of stuff, and the poetic, so I don't think this will happen. But I think if you wanted to put something like this into storyline context, it could happen, but I don't think it will. Like, if you had Priest cash in, you let Drew win, you let Drew cheer, this, that, and the other, have his moment, and then he has it taken away from him. What has he been saying constantly all of this time? I had my big moment taken away from me because I didn't have a live crowd. Imagine he wins the belt with a live crowd, and he still gets that belt taken away from him. Like,
yeah.
the fire, the promos, like you thought he was pissed before. Like he would be a whole nother level. Like it would be incredible. But I don't want Priest as the champion yet. I want Drew McIntyre as the champion. So in terms of a full circle storyline, that would be good,
work,
but also hilarious. And you would also be having it on a heel still, which would kind of back up to our point. But like I said, I think that's to be cashed in at a future date. I don't think it's for WrestleMania. If we had a match for this championship, which people weren't really caring about, I think let him cash in, let him do it. But I don't know when he's going to do that, Cash. I don't think it would be for WrestleMania. But that's where I think it would be should they decide to do it. But I really hope they don't.
Do you not think it's around due time that someone else should cash in and lose? It's only happened. Someone cash in and lose. It's only happened to Alberto before, hasn't it?
Oh, it's happened to a few people now. Cena lost. Cena lost. Alberto lost. Who else was there?
Baron Corbin.
Damien Sandow lost. Baron Corbin lost. Like it used to be, that was the gimmick. If you get this briefcase, you are virtually guaranteed to become champion. But then obviously all of a sudden, they kind of realised that we can't really maintain this because it's a bit boring because you just know what's going to happen all the time.
Damien Sandow. Oh, God, I forgot about that name.
Thank you all for your irrelevant opinion. When he was getting what chanted, that was his response. Absolutely incredible. Just what? What? Thank you for your irrelevant opinion. And then boom, just count. He was incredible. Like, I had so much love for him. And then he became Mrs. Stunt Double, Damien Mizdow. Do you remember all that? Like,
no.
Oh, good. You don't want to remember it. It was rough. It was rough. It was like he had this immense character of just like being like this like scholar or whatever, just above everyone was beneath him, you know. And then they just threw that out the window and just made him act like Miz, and then everyone loved him because they were like, we hate Miz, so you're good, we like you. And it was a rough time in wrestling. It was during that time of the product was awful, and that's a classic example of it. But yeah, so just to summarize, we're both on the Drew bandwagon here, aren't we?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Right. Well, that takes us into our main event, my friend. And this could be something special. I think this could be a match to be remembered for all the ages. But just to obviously follow on from yesterday, we both said that Rock and Reigns are going to win. So this will be a bloodline match. Bloodline rules match. There you go. So, I mean,
I do like how Roman and The Rock, because of The Rock's position on the board, and Roman because of his status as a superstar or whatever, they can just make up these stipulations now, like tribal court, tribal bloodline rules, anything goes. Well, just call it no DQ then. It's already a thing.
That's all it is. You know, like, what can we, how can we make this more relevant to us? Right, we've got like this, but it's a bloodline rules match. What is it? No DQ.
Just say that.
I still always love, obviously, tangent in here. And I don't know if you remember this, during the reign of Jinder Mahal as WWE champion.
Yeah,
were you watching the product of that at that time?
A bit. I was watching highlights. I wasn't into it at the time, but yeah.
See, you had him and Orton, right? And I can't remember the name they gave this, but I'm sure it was something as stereotypical as like the Punjabi cage match. And all it was a steel cage, but the cage was just bamboo. And I'm like, it's just a cage match, isn't it, really? And it's like, yeah, but like he's Muslim, so it's Punjabi. It's this, and it's like, how stereotypical can you get? Do you know what I mean? Like,
just to clarify, mate, that's Indian Punjabi.
Whatever, I don't know. All right, I'm trying not. Like, I don't.
I'm trying not to offend.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm just not clued up on it all. My point being that they just make these stereotypical things there, and it's like, right, that's what that is. It's like, yeah, but actually, you could have just had it as a steel cage match. And then the reason that Orton lost that match was whilst he was trying to leave it, the Great Khali just appeared and just randomly walks down. Like, I think he starts bashing him off it because he's on the outside and he's just pulling him towards like that. Orton falls down, Jinder rolls him up and wins. Like, it was such a bad time. It was such a bad time.
You missed the alliteration. So the actual match was called the Punjabi Prison Match.
Right, so I wasn't wrong, was I? When I said exactly what I've just said there, I wasn't wrong in the slightest of how ridiculously stereotypical it was. Like, oh my
Lord. We all know prisons in Punjab are made of bamboo.
And it's the fact that anybody turns up and it's just Great Carly, who hasn't been in the company for years upon end, and it's like, who can we call? You know,
who else is kind of Indian?
Yeah. Like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Didn't go the other way with it and just like tan Hornswoggle. Could have
dye his beard. Welcome, Mohammed Hornswoggle. I was about to go off on a Team America tangent then, and I think I better not. But I think we'll get right back on topic now. So, it's a Bloodline Rules match.
Yes, Bloodline Rules, which has never happened before, technically. So I still really like my idea from a few months back of, I know it's going to be The Rock. I know everyone, and I think the good odds are on The Rock turning on Roman at the last minute, hence the laser and everything else. And it could have been the whisper to Cody, and that might not be revealed till after WrestleMania. Like, what did he whisper? And he was like, "I'm going to help you. Just pretend." I don't know, because it's all very, very silly. And I think The Rock is going to have a big, because he wanted to be the main event on his own.
Yeah.
So he's going to have something very much to do with it. I still love my idea of having everyone, only the faces and heels as well, everyone come in who the Bloodline have affected, who the Bloodline have cost championships for, and surround the ring. And just have Cody and Roman go at it one-on-one. Right, like towards the end, the last 15, 20 minutes of the match. But that's a dream world that I'm living in. Well, it's a good dream. But yeah,
I'll be honest though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't think you're too far off the realms of possibility of that happening. I think this match is just going to be wild. Like, I don't think anything it's not going to be a basic match. Like, no. I just think it's going to be one of those where just nonsense after nonsense happens. Like, and you just sat there, and just someone appears, someone comes from out of the ring. Like, I just think it's going to be that kind of match where it's just going to be absolutely wild. I think you could be on the right lines with it all.
I think we know for a fact Jay will be there. Jay's got to be there at the end of the Bloodlines route. Because we're both, okay, can I just say, let's get the prediction out of the way. Both saying Cody.
Yeah.
Right. Gonna write that down. So I can talk to you then like you're my equal. Because if you said Roman, I'd be spitting on the camera and walking away.
Yeah.
It's got to be Cody, and Jay's got to be there because it's got to be the end of the Bloodline. I don't know if you've heard. Go on.
But what if Roman wins?
Not today.
I'm sorry. I'll drop that nugget in later. Go on, go.
Can I carry on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That is
Cody's winning. Yeah, Cody's winning. So it's going to be the end of the line. So what is it? Did you tell me? Oh no, why did I hear this off someone else? Our mutual friend Alex.
Oh yeah, our one fan.
That it's supposed he's heard. Our fan, biggest stan. He's heard that. I don't know if this has actually been announced or anything, or if it's just a rumor that he's heard on a podcast, but that Roman Reigns will retire if he loses this match. But I can't see Roman Reigns staying in the company for too long anyway. I can't see him doing normal matches just without the wise man. Well, with the wise man, without a championship. I don't think he can come back for a long time, for a while at least. But if Cody, it's been said that if Cody loses, he's going to go on commentary. Now, that's what he's heard from somewhere.
No.
I don't know where he heard it from, but he was a good source of information that night. Anyway, no, I think it'll be The Rock. I think The Rock will be the main key player, and I think he'll turn face because I think he's kind of fit his quota for the year of matches that he needs to be in or whatever. Because he's not matches, but like stage time and all that. But I don't know where to go with this. I think it's going to be, like you said, absolutely mental. And I just love to see LA Knight come out. Even fucking Drew, even Logan Paul. All of these people who've been shafted one by one. Jey Uso on the corner of the ring as well. Sami Zayn being there. Even KO being there just because he hates the bloodline.
Yeah.
Just basically the entire roster being out there because they all want Cody to be their champion. So it's not just him and Seth. It's literally the entire roster is like, no, we want Cody as the person to beat, not you.
Yeah.
Go back to your little island.
Yeah. Like, I agree with it. I think like I said, I think we spoke about it in the past where I'm like, I just don't see you having heels involved in that. I think with Drew's character, I get it, but I think with Drew's current character, you couldn't put him into that sort of position. Like, a KO, yeah, absolutely, 1,000,000%. Sami Zayn, absolutely, you could put those people there. But like, are you saying, like, see, I feel like with this, because I think there's so many things that could potentially go on, I think we address each individual nugget at a time. So let's just go with your idea now.
Actually, no, because you're right, because if he beats Seth, then... So yeah, I know you're right. I reckon near enough everyone except Drew. But because Seth's gonna be there.
So do you think it's going to be like a bit where you've got Cody and Reigns facing each other? Then you've got Rock, Solo, Jimmy kind of like, on each like bit of the ring about to come in. And then people music hit, they run down, it turns to a brawl. Or are you having it as more of a, what's the match? When you have everyone surrounding the ring so they can't escape.
I know. See, I like that. I can't remember the name. Go on, you have a...
It's killing me. I can't remember the name of that match, and I should know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, but all that. So are they just going to surround the ring to make sure that no one can get in? Or are they just going to turn up and just scrap with people on the outside whilst that match is going on? Like, what do you think? I'm just brainstorm your idea.
My original idea is it starts off as the brawl, but it ends in like Jey being on one side, Jey being on one side, KO, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and like a good 6 or 7 LA Knight there, 6 or 7, all faces, all crowd pleasers, and all people who've never really had issues with each other. Them surrounding the ring then, and not giving Roman anywhere to go.
Right. So in the sense of Roman escaping, they're just preventing him from getting out, sort of thing. Yeah. Right. Okay.
And preventing anyone from getting back in as well. But again, you've got to go with, if that's going to happen, then maybe the Rock will still be left in the ring somehow. So it's got to be the brawl on the outside, and the Rock will be and then the Rock will turn on Roman at the last, and then just kind of walk away. Maybe take off his fucking $500 Dolce & Gabbana shirt, and then just kind of walk away. I don't know, but I think the Rock's got to come face out of this. I don't think he could be hated any longer than this. I don't think.
Right. So that transitions perfectly then. So you are pretty set that Rock's turning face here. You think he's going to turn, and that's what's going to help Cody win?
Yes, as well as all the other people who've been screwed back. Because I think it's too poetic to not have all the other people who the bloodline, the 3 of them have screwed, to be there to witness it. Seth's got to be there. I can't see a world in Seth not being there to watch it.
Yeah, well, or is that because Drew's beat him down so bad to play off this injury that he's off for a while, that he obviously can't?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, but I don't think I don't think there's even a slight chance of the Rock turning face here. So I really don't. You what, sorry?
Where do you think the Rock will go after this then? Well, what's his story after this?
Well, this is, again, because I think there's so many ideas that we're going to bounce around on this match. I'm trying to condense it and keep to one little bit at a time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't think he's turning face. Like, my opinion, how I think this is going to go, is going back to that match, that segment with Rock and Cody, when they were outside and they were scrapping in the rain and all that. And you had the production truck in the background. And you conveniently had two individual faces there, which it could have been anyone. The production team aren't stupid. If they knew that was going to be in the shot, they wouldn't put that in the shot. If that was an accident, they'd pan and they'd have an angle where you cannot see that. That was there for a reason. And when you have followed Bray Wyatt for as long as I have, you look for Easter eggs. You look for little clues and pieces of information everywhere. Every segment that is backstage, I am looking at everything around. I ain't watching those two. I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at the fucking roof because I'm looking for a clue or something for me to go, right, I can One reason why I love Bray so much. Everything was a puzzle. There was always a reason for everything. Love it. So as part of that, that's kind of now in my wrestling brain. If I watch anything, I'm always going to do that. There is no accident there. That was
okay.
There
So
for a reason.
Those two faces. I'll say one. You can say go first with the first. You know which one I'm going to say.
I could be a bastard here, couldn't I?
Still got Steve Austin. Is one of them. He was the one on the right, and then on the left you had John Cena, which obviously John's not going to end his career by losing to Solo, so we know that. So that's obviously a good shout. What do you think with those two? What do you think the thing is then?
So for me, I think how this is all going to go down is it's going to be a match, fair, whatever. I think it's then going to turn into like not all three, i.e., or all four, should I say, as in Reigns, Rock, Jimmy, and Solo. I don't think all four are going to be on him. I think that you're going to have Cody down, Reigns is there, and then I think Reigns is going to call like, Jimmy, get in here, like that sort of thing. And I think Jimmy's going to step up. Jey Uso's music hits, he comes out, counters that. Solo, like, order him in.
Oh no! I'm not even that!
Cena's music hits, he hits him. Right, and then the final boss steps up. He starts to saunter over. And then you're going to have Cody and Roman roll out the ring, and you're going to have Stone Cold and Rock turn and look at each other, and Stone Cold, Stunner, Ultimate Cell, and then you're going to have Cody beat Roman Reigns. That's how I think this is going to conclude, in the clusterfuck in that fashion of just bang, big name, bang, big name, bang, big. Like, I just think that's how it's going to go down. Like, I think because I think, as I said the night before, I think they're going to quote how it finished last year with Solo getting in, giving a Simone spike to Cody. I think then Cody's going to get pinned. I think Rock's going to pin Cody, actually, because that will counter up their little storyline that they've had. So I think because of that, it's like, right, Seth on Monday night, I've got a plan B, don't worry. Plan B didn't work. They need another plan. What's the other plan? Calling in two people they're never going to fucking guess in a million years are going to turn up unless they saw the production truck. You know, like storyline-wise.
Unless it was scripted.
Unless somebody planned all of this. But yeah, that for me, that's how I think this is going to go down. The thing for me that I can't quite decide on is I think it has to end with, like, obviously Cody's won 1, 2, 3. I think it's going to be him probably crying. He's probably going to go and get his mum in the ring or go and cheer with her. He's going to stand on the side. There's going to be fireworks and all this. I think
Stone Cold just slamming beers while this is happening.
off his mum's face. Here's your mum's tears. But, like, you know, I think that has to happen. But then I also love an idea of Roman, Solo, Jimmy turning on The Rock. I don't think The Rock turns on them. I think they go, you the final boss, you know, ain't no fucking final boss, bang, and they have him. But I think that is going to happen on the Raw after Mania or the SmackDown after Mania. I think that's what the big turns. Like, the Raw after Mania is like stereotypically known as being the best Raw because mad things happen. Like, that's what it's known for. So I think that spot, that segment, will be saved for Raw, where they come out. Roman hasn't got the title. Like, bounce back on this and I'll spitball with my next thing that I want to say, just so we can, because I know you're.
I absolutely king love that. I didn't even think when I said that. I went, you know, that Cena's not going to retire against Solo, and then Yeah, you've got Jay, you've got Jimmy, you've got the people who were literally the last people they had feuds with, or in Jimmy and Jay's case, the only person that they've had proper mega beef with in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
But good God, yeah. And then Stone at the end, yeah, the Rock comes in, Stone Cold hits, and you've got just their iconic stare at each other.
Yeah. But I also love the concept of Stone Cold, not even a stare down. Of like, what was it? We used to just come into the ring, stunner, leave. I could also see that happening. But sorry, go on. I cut you.
No, that's I'm in Disneyland in my own head right now. That'd be amazing. Anything to see Stone Cold in the ring. Anything at all. I love the Broken Skull podcast. I listen to parts of it all the time, and he's just the best. I don't know if you've got him on Instagram, but he's got a cat at the Broken Skull Ranch called Poncho. And he just carries around this black and white cat called Poncho, and he goes, "Here's Poncho, me and Poncho today, enjoying a beer." It's just like, all right, okay, Stone Cold.
Oh, I've got time for it. But yeah, like the other bit I kind of wanted to go on to there. Like I said, I didn't want to just fire in a load of information without obviously giving you a chance to like kind of respond. But you said earlier, obviously about like Roman retiring and stuff like that. Like I don't think that like, but then I think obviously this Raw. I think I'm gonna put money where my mouth is. I think the Raw after Mania, that's what's gonna happen. The Bloodline's gonna come out. They're gonna have the little tribal doodah or whatever because Reigns is no longer the champ. So is he still the tribal chief? Like that will be the question. So they'll kind of come out for said segment where I think Reigns is going to be like reborn as a character without the belt because his whole thing is I'm the champ, I'm the tribal chief. You listen to what I say. Yep. Whereas without that, where does this storyline go? Like I think there's a spider web of opportunities here. I don't think Rock's going to stay here permanently, but I think they're going to potentially turn on Rock and blame him. But then it's how does Roman Reigns build himself back up to the top again? Do Jimmy and Solo just go, well, no, you're not do they get all the elders in and the elders start doing X, Y, and Z and all that? Like I think there's so much more interest in the Bloodline saga with him losing that belt. I think it will open a new door for
they still have to have that match eventually as well. They still need cousin versus cousin. They still need the Rock and Roman. Like I mean, even if it's at like a smaller one, maybe not Backlash, but maybe not SummerSlam because it's too far away. But it's not that far away thinking about it. But
no. They could build to SummerSlam without a shadow of a doubt. Or they might even save it for WrestleMania 41. They might literally let Rock go off TV for a bit, let Roman go off TV or let Roman do a bit, then go off TV for a bit. Because he's going to be off television anyway. He's been off television as the champ, as the number one guy. So he ain't going to hesitate to go off time anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think that is that would be a conversation for the aftermath of WrestleMania. Seeing how it all goes down and where they go.
That's fantastic.
I think it's really, really exciting. I really do think that, like, you kind of had a couple of times where the Bloodline was in a bit of a lull. It was a bit boring. There was nothing really happening. And it's like, right, he's lost the belt. Right, we're free of it. But then you're like, well, actually, no, because, they're not forcing it to carry it on longer.
There's still
a lot more to be
done. Yeah.
I think there is. I think there's a lot of dimensions, a lot of roads, a lot of avenues they can go down. I think it would be pretty damn decent.
Like you said, I think I'm just one of those people now. It's like Bloodline lose, just put that to the back of my mind now. Forget about the Bloodline. But you're right in the way that they've got. It's still a grade A storyline that if they do that, if they just close the book, like what's going to happen with Heyman? That's another thing as well that I didn't even think about. Yeah, Heyman's the wise man. Where's he going to go? Who's he going to be? Is he going to take some time off because he's nearly there every week at SmackDown using the phone. My tribal chief, just stuff like that. But I mean, is he going to go glob onto someone else? What's going to? Yeah, I think you're right. I think I completely underthought that completely, just because I want the Bloodline to be done. I want the belt to be gone from them. Yeah,
but that's it. I think you take the belt away. I think there's still so much more to go down because Heyman. I didn't even just think of Heyman until you mentioned that. Like, Heyman is literally the wise man. Like, could you imagine that segment where they're all talking about it? And, like, Roman Reigns is like, oh, wise man, you still believe in me, don't you? And Heyman kind of looks at him and just walks out the ring. Like, doesn't say a word. A man who speaks 1,000 words doesn't say a word to him and walks off. That, like, it would be cold. There's so much we could sit here for another hour and just spitball all these ideas. But, again, it makes it all like really interesting. There's so much more they can go down with on that route. But to summarize all of this, like with all the madness, like this is what I mean. This is where I knew this was going to be a 20-minute, half-an-hour conversation because there's so much that could possibly go on. To summarize, we are calling that Cody Rhodes is 1,000,000% winning this tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, stop it. On night 2.
Yes, night 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be. What do you think? Do you reckon it'll just be? After all that commotion, do you think it'll just be a Cody roly poly, and that's done, or 3 of them?
Cody roly poly. Yeah, I think it'll be 3. I think it'll be 3 of them. Like, it's become iconic that he has to do 3 of his finisher to win. It's like Stone Cold having to do 3 Stone Cold Stunners to win a match. Like, it's rather questionable in itself, really, isn't it? But I get it, and it's more effective and all that. And I think he will do that to really cement it. You know what I mean? Like, there's also like, I heard someone earlier on a podcast saying that Roman gets a visual pin, but the ref doesn't see it. With how many times it's the opposite way around, where the face or they get a visual pin and it doesn't happen, and that starts Roman Reigns. That could trigger him losing his head and calling people in to come and get involved and stuff because he gets the visual. The ref's distracted with, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean? And then that's when Roman snaps and he's like, right, get in here. Then that's when all the commotion happens. Like,
I really like that.
But I like that. It's a nice little full circle touch, really.
It really is. And again, any excuse to see Stone Cold.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, that draws us off, mate. That is WrestleMania Night 2 completed. But yeah, so that's all of our predictions.
So just to go through for night 2, first match, I have no one because fuck them. You have the
Final Testament.
Yep. For match 2, we both got LA Knight, Big Sean in the hizzy. For match 3, RKO, Randall Keith.
Wins.
And oh god, don't start. Logan Paul. I've got Logan. You've got Randall Keith Orton.
Yeah, that's the one. Randy Knockout.
I've got Bailey. You've got Io Sky.
Yeah.
We've both got. I've got Drew Scottish, and you've got Scottish Drew. Don't know what happened there, but something happened. And then for the, I'm annoyed about my pick because I think night 1, I think I'm confident with. This is just since you've obviously thought about it much more than I have because I've just been
spent a lot of time in work thinking about it today.
I'm not going, oh, maybe this will happen. Not done any of that. So I've got Cody, and then I've got Rock equals face, and then you've got Cody, and then you've got Cody, but I've written down Civil War because that sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like.
That's it. Like I said, I think as a whole for both nights, I think it's going to be really, really good. I am genuinely stoked for it. Like I'm pumped for it. And like we're recording this now, sending this out on a Thursday. We've got Friday, and then it's here. Do you know what I mean? Like there's literally one full day, and then all it is Saturday is looking forward to that night. And I am absolutely pumped for it. I've already decided that I'm staying up for it. Like I've already that's what I'm doing. I thought to myself, I might, because I know that I'll be absolutely buggered on Sunday. But I was like, do you know what? No, I'm not excited for it. I want to watch this live. So that's exactly what's going down. But yeah, as we always do, my friend, before we sign off, I like to give you your opportunity to tell me what your final thoughts are, my friend. So you tell me, Pete, what are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts today, Kieran, I thought we could learn a little bit of something. So the Bass theory is a part of the mathematical subject of group theory. Yeah?
Okay.
That deals with analysing the algebraic structure of groups acting by automorphisms on simplicial trees. Now, as confusing as that was, and boring as that was, it was a lot more fucking interesting than anything Karrion Kross will ever do. Right. Pete's final thought.
On my life, right? I was sat here thinking, where the fuck is he going with this? But I tell you what, you truly are the professor, mate, because that's what you learn if you do science. Here we are, like, Do you know what? I can't compose myself. On that note, if you've watched, thank you very much for fucking watching it with us. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe, help us out a little bit. But yeah, cheers for all that. We will see you guys soon. Peace out, home praise. And remember, carrying cross sucks.